Yo, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. And today, I'm gonna video for you guys. And today, I'm gonna be continuing with another episode of What If Horror Edition. And today, I'm gonna be tackling on the Friday 13 franchise. And today, I'm gonna be discussing with you guys. So, what if Friday 13 Part 9 turned out differently? And also, like, what if actually was called? What if actually Jason was called? What if Jason actually was called took on a different route? And also like literally, well, basically jumping to question is that, like, what if actually Friday 13 Part 9 turned out differently instead of with changing, the story, and also to see like what if it actually turned out different. And well, for that, I'm gonna go ahead and discuss with you guys. So let's go and dive in. So here we go. All right, so back in 1993, we saw the release of the ninth installment of the franchise, which was titled Jason Goes to Hell: The Final Friday, or Friday 13th Part 9. And well, the film literally was actually not well received, and it did actually kind of bomb at the box office. And then, well, Jason lay dormant for about almost a decade until in 2001, he actually came back in Jason X, and then after that, he crossed over with Freddy, and then after that, he got a remake in 2009, and then that was the last time we saw of him. And well, literally till now, like literally since like with the rights already settled with the creators, it seems that we should be getting a new Friday 13 movie anytime soon, but I guess that we gotta wait and see. So yeah, but anyway, moving on. All right, so moving on. So literally, like, what's called? I actually came up with a concept of for what's called an alternate story for Part 9, and this one actually sounds pretty interesting. And well, for this, I actually came up with a concept of what if Jason had what's it called supernatural powers similar to Freddy. Since if you guys know that in what's called since literally back in the early 90s, New Line acquired the rights to Jason only and not the Friday 13th franchise. And well, for that, like literally since like Jason is actually what's called in Fred, aka Freddy's world. And well, literally like since in Part 9, like for Jason, well, I came up with this concept. If what if Jason actually had the same powers as Freddy, where he could travel through dreams and also could take out his victims like that? And well, for that, I ended up titling the movie Jason's Nightmare: The Final Friday. And yep, honestly, I agree. That's the concept I came up, which is sounds pretty good. Like literally, I know that honestly, director should have been made at that time, but they just decided to go with this plot where Jason ends up going to body to body, and then after that he goes back to into his Jason form, and then after that, like, well, towards the end, he died. Oh, anyway, so basically, moving on. So I came up with this concept: what if actually Jason actually had supernatural powers where he could travel to to his victims' dreams and take them out, kind of similar to Freddy. And then, well, later for that concept, I came out like, let's say like in the beginning of the movie, Jason ends up getting taken out by the FBI, but suddenly out of nowhere, his spirit actually goes ends up coming out of his body, and then he ends up actually becoming a invisible supernatural entity. And then, well, for that, like, well, literally, as soon as when like the public announces that like Jason's dead, like Jason begins his new reign of terror, where he ends up going into his victims' dreams and ends up taking out some of the victims until he's actually aware that he actually has a relative, and then he ends up going after her, kind of similar to like Freddy, where he goes after Nancy in the original Friday. And then, well, and what's called in the film, Jason ends up using his powers to go and find his way how to get to his relative and get and take her out, until literally she ends up getting she ends up warning of Jason's existence, and also ends up finding out that Jason's not dead. And then, well, she ends up teaming up with her boyfriend, and then also ends up, well, teaming, I guess, with Craig and Duke. Like literally, I decided to throw him in the mix, and like literally, I decided to leave him in the movie. And well, Craig and Duke ends up talking with our female lead, say that Jason's actually not dead, and he's actually a supernatural entity where he can travel to people's dreams. And literally, like Craig and Duke ends up helping out our main protagonist to go and defeat him. And for that, like, they need to go ahead and get what's called Jason out of the dream world. And for that, they end up using the same dagger, which literally could actually harm Jason, like even though he's actually what's called like not in his human form. And then, well, for that, like literally, she ends up using that dagger for some reason, and then ends up stabbing Jason. And then he ends up going into the real world, and then after that, like literally, they quickly end up actually taking him out. And then after that, well, he dies. So yeah, but anyway, moving on. And so yeah, so literally down, and then his mask down, and then that's it. So yeah, but anyway. And there you have it, guys. So that's the concept I came up for Friday 13 Part 9. And honestly, I understand that like some of you guys are gonna hate, say like, oh, like literally Jason is actually like Freddy now. But no, basically the reason why I came up with this concept, because like I don't know, since literally here's the thing, like the reason why they came up with this concept, because literally since like New Line actually ended up purchasing the rights to Jason only, and then well literally since New Line actually now own Jason, basically since literally at that time they were trying to set up a Freddy and Jason crossover since the late 80s, but that kept on getting delayed because bunch of writers came up with a lot of scripts, and then the two companies, Paramount, who own Jason, and then New Line, who own Freddy, well, they couldn't come to an agreement, so basically like they ended up actually having both their horror villains end up actually finishing off their franchises until in the 90s. Freddy actually was called was called his story in part 6, and then for Jason, well, he got killed off in part 9, and then literally like at the ending of part 9, since it did tease the crossover, which would have come 10 years later in 2003. And honestly, yeah, like literally the crossover was stuck in development for the past decade until it was finally released in 2003, and then yeah, we finally get to see these two horror villains fight. Then well, yeah, honestly, here's the thing, literally at that time, if New Line ended up actually making that movie instead of like the final film that we got, yeah, like literally it would have been better. Plus like literally moving on, if New Line ended up actually releasing that film, then yeah, like the film like would still come out in 1993, but the film probably would have actually got a higher score rating on Rotten Tomatoes, what I guess maybe a 70 or 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. Depends like if the audience is actually enjoying it. Then with the audience score, it will actually go higher, and then with the box office, well, it will probably make up to like $90 million. And the reason why is because since literally like what's called fans are shocked that Jason has Freddy's powers, and well, yeah, they'll end up liking it. Then after that, well, what's called the film ended up making a lot of money, and then after that, well, literally it depends how would they end up continuing Jason's story. And like literally for that, they could just do a TV series like where Jason ends up like, or what was he doing after the events of part 9, like literally and for that, what they did a Friday 13 series, but it wasn't really connected to the franchise, so they could just done a Jason series, kind of similar to like Freddy, like he had his own series in the late 80s. And well, yeah, they should just probably continue Jason's story, like to see like what he did before the events of Freddy vs. Jason. So yeah, but alongside like yeah, so that's the concept I came up for part 9. And well, literally if they wouldn't made that, then the film would actually became what's called great, but instead we got that film, and then it did poorly. So yeah, but anyway, moving on. Well, there you have it, guys. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Go ahead and subscribe to the notification. I'll see you guys later.